Man is not capable of comparing him to God, but the doctor has achieved this status through his work. We call him the God on earth. Today is National Doctors' Day, so I, Nitsa Azam, on behalf of the entire Deepest Fulbari family, would like to extend the warmest wishes and heartfelt gratitude on this special day to all the life saviors of this noble profession. Let us know why 1st July is chosen to celebrate as National Doctors' Day. 1st July is the birth anniversary of the legendary doctor and the second Chief Minister of Bengal, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy. So, every year we commemorate this day to pay tribute and honor this noted physician and renowned educationalist. Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy was a freedom fighter too, who participated in several movements. He was awarded with the highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. We lost this great personality on 1st July 1962 in Kolkata. We are battling the second wave of coronavirus, and during this unprecedented time, the heroes who have emerged as our saviors are the healthcare professionals who have risked their own health to serve innumerous patients. The sacrifice they are making for the safety and welfare of the humanity is priceless and deserves lifelong gratitude on our end. Happy National Doctors' Day! Now, I would like to invite Safalta Rai of grade 6 to dedicate the poem to all the doctors.
Thank you, Nitsa. On the occasion of National Doctors' Day, I would like to dedicate a poem entitled Hope on the Horizon. Hope on the horizon. As I ponder upon, my heart weeps, glancing at the traces of the past graves. I stood motionless, hearing the silence of deaths. Gazed at my dear ones, gasping for breaths. Panic-stricken heart, helpless soul, sensing all around the rising death's toll. Unstable body with a shattered mind, seeking for the ray of hope behind. Call for the new beginning beat, through the serene beam of light, walked in the magical being, filled with power, destined to win, blessed with a healing hand, set to bring glory to human land. White coat that shields appears as moon, you are God's greatest boon. Hail all, hail each one, for the doctors who emerged as the hope on the horizon. Thank you.
May all your days be as wonderful as you have made all of mine. Happy Doctor's Day.
Thank you, Doc, for everything you have done to keep me in the pink of hair and best of spirit. Happy Doctor's Day.
You are our guardian angels. God bless you and thank you for all that you are doing. Happy Doctor's Day.
Doctor is not just a word, but the word we salute you today for your selfless service. Happy Doctor's Day. Thank you. You have the heart that never hardens, a temper that never tears, a touch that never hurts. Will not all people wear caps, but they wear stethoscopes too. Happy Doctor Day.
A big thank you, dear doctors, for your tireless efforts and untiring dedication. Happy Doctors' Day.
God cannot be everywhere, so He sent doctors with excellence. Nowadays, doctors are warriors. I would salute our doctors for their wonderful work. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I hope you all are in the best of health. Today we have at Delhi Public School Fulbari are gathered to celebrate the heroes among us, also known as healers and saviors. Doctors are truly the blessings to us. So this Doctors' Day, we extend our kindest gratitude to all the doctors. They have been altruistically serving human, and since the past 1.5 year has become the strongest backbone of our society. We observe this Doctors' Day to lay emphasis on the value of our doctors in our lives. So now, without any further ado, we would like to take the opportunity to ask our Honorable Principal Ma'am Manowara Begum Ahmed to kindly welcome our guests.
Hello everyone, glad to see our parents and great to have you here. So on behalf of entire team DPS Fulbari, I would like to welcome you all in the panel discussion, rather heart-to-heart discussion on the occasion of National Doctors' Day. I know you all are very busy, very, very busy, I know. But in spite of your busy schedule, you have given us time, have joined us, and become the part of this session. But dear doctors, you have another identity for us. You are the parents of Delhi Public School, Fulbari. So you are the family members. You're doing wonderful job. Your work and all this thing, contribution towards the mankind, towards the society is incomparable. So we got a little bit tempted. So we invited you. So I'm sure today we are going to have a wonderful session, and we all, teachers, rest of the parents, students, we're going to be benefited from it. So once again, I'd like to welcome all of you. Have a great session. Thank you.
It has been around 18 months since the first case of COVID-19 was reported in India. And as of 28th June today, we have around 30 million cases and nearly 4 lakh deaths. In this scenario, there has been so much information shared about the novel coronavirus, about the vaccine development, about the medicines. And along with all this information, a host of misinformation has also been shared. But today, we shall recognize and appreciate the unique stories and experiences of the doctors in our panel who were the hardest hit community. The purpose of this webinar is to get the best possible information and some realistic answers from the personal experiences of the doctors who are also the members of the Delhi Public School Fulbari family. So joining us today, we have amongst us Dr. Abhishek Biswas. He is the medical officer, BPHC Sukna, and he is also the father of Master Avranil Biswas of Class Prep. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
Thank you, sir. We also have amongst us Dr. Diganto Sonowal. He is the Senior Medical Officer at Powai Tea Estate under Amalgamated Plantation Private Limited. He is the father of Master Amlan Sonowal, Class 8. Welcome to the seminar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Among us, we also have Dr. Kaushik Roy. He's a pediatrist, and he's the father of the student Nilarje Roy of class nursery. Welcome to the panel, sir. And so, without any further ado, let's start our discussion with our honorable guests.
Dear doctors, your valuable suggestions will be reaching a wide range of audience today. So kindly feel free to answer in Hindi, Bengali, English, or whichever language you are comfortable in. Now, to start with, the entire family of Delhi Public School Fulbari would want to know what inspired you to become a doctor and choose this noble profession. So we can start with Dr. Diganto Sonowal. So if you could kindly let us know what inspired you to choose this profession and become a doctor.
Definitely. Medical profession, it was my dream. Actually, a dream of my parents also. This is absolutely a novel profession. Mm, and what to add on? This is my dream actually. My to serve for the people, serve for the community.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Dr. Abhishek Biswas, if you could also please tell us what inspired you to choose the profession.
See, my father is a doctor. He's an ENT surgeon. So whenever I was born, and then I got to learn things. So I realized, and it was put into my head also by my father, that this is the profession that I have to be in, because apart from all the materialistic benefits that it has, serving came to me naturally, because I saw my father from a very early age. He had to attend emergencies. He wasn't home at night. So I asked my mother that, okay, where is he? He's not at night. Where is he going? So then she explained to me that he's going and he's spending sleepless nights so that other people who are ill, they can sleep peacefully, or at least they can be convinced that, okay, their loved ones will be taken care of. So that inspired me. And maybe it is because of my genes, or I don't know, but because I was relatively very good in biology, not so good in mathematics. So I took up this profession and I like it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir. We would also like to know from Dr. Kaushik Roy. So if you could also kindly throw some light on the question.
Since our childhood, we have learned that Seva Param Dharma. So, so from that concept, it was the scope of this service is based in this profession, and this profession is all about this seva, and scope of the service to the humanity is maximum in this profession, and that is the reason that motivated me from the very beginning, and after that we have to all pass the exam first, then you have the chance of choosing. So when I got the opportunity to since childhood we have listened from our seva param dharma. So that is one of the reason that lead to choose this profession. And except that, we all have to pass the joint entrance. After that, then if you have the opportunity, then you have the option. So I had that option, then I choose between engineering and this profession. I then choose this noble profession.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very noble cause, noble thought, in fact, Seva Paramatma Dharma. Continuing with the question, I would like to know from you all, what have you been doing to keep yourself physically and mentally healthy during the pandemic?
We can start with Dr. Abhishek.
See, physically and mentally, what I would like to say is, as doctors, I think most of my colleagues here and throughout the world, especially in India, will agree that we doctors tend to neglect our health, because we don't have much time, and we think that, okay, we know a lot about human body and human anatomy, physiology and all, so we will take care of it when need be. So during this pandemic period, whatever guidelines the government is stressing upon, we already knew all that, because all that we studied about all those microorganisms like viruses and bacteria as a part of our curriculum, and we knew. But since the government did stress upon, so we might have been overlooking, okay, hoga chalega, but we brought in back into that all of that into practice. And as far as mental well-being is concerned, see, as for me, what I can say is whenever I'm stressed out, playing with my son, spending time with my family, my wife, that's a natural stress reliever. I don't need any extra things to go on. And as far as physical exercise is concerned, my wife and I have started since the beginning of this pandemic rather, uh, to uh, to morning walks, or we have stairs to reach our home, so climbing up stairs up and down. So basic and cutting down on junk food. So basic, I think that summarizes it all.
Thank you, sir. Those were some really beneficial information, beneficial for everybody. I'm sure everybody is going to benefit from it. Dr. Diganta Sonowal, so if you could also tell us, how did you manage to keep yourself physically and mentally healthy during the pandemic?
Really, this during the pandemic situation, everything has changed actually, both physically, mentally. Actually, we are the doctor don't get really time for us. We are during the pandemic. We are so busy with the people who actually required us. Beside that, I to personally I say whenever I get time I like to play actually. I mean love playing tennis and football, but footballs are not possible right now. We are playing tennis only. For people I say advice they should do at least minimum exercise at home. That will be benefited for them, and healthy food of course, and sleep is important equally. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the wise words, sir. Dr. Roy, Dr. Kaushik Roy, if you could also share with us your views, how have you managed, sir? We would really like to know.
Things I want to follow. That first is diet. That is very essential for all of us. So my fresh fruits, protein diet, high protein diet. These are the things which are get incorporated in our diet in regular basis. So apart from the diet, regular light exercise which I used to do, like Surya Pranam, yoga. If I get time, then I used to do it at least thrice a week, at least. And another stress reliever, family time is also a big stress reliever. Playing with son is a great stress reliever for me, at least. So I used to engage with these activities and staying physically as well as mentally fit till now.
So now we would like to know from our honorable guest is, since children has been staying at home for more than a year now, there's no physical activities as such. So what recommendations do you have for our children, to maintain a healthy living? Uh, that is the question. So Abhishek sir, Dr. Abhishek, if you could kindly answer that.
Regarding children, they are naturally very hyperactive. So what happens, what I've noticed with the building that I stay in, we have around 3 to 4 kids, toddlers actually. So my son, his friends with almost all. So what they do is, when the school was when we used to have online classes, he used to say, the first thing he used to say, when will the class get over so that he can get back to playing. So playing means jumping around, going to the roof. He has his own bicycle, so he plays with it, lets his friends play with it. So I think playing with the children of the society that you stay while it's important because children, as parents, we haven't been allowing children to go out, so they are relatively safe when they stay inside a society, because outside people from outside, they're not being allowed inside, so the chance of uh, con- getting any infection, like the COVID or any other infection, is relatively low when all the COVID protocol is being maintained. Plus, we can have them watch television a bit, mobiles a bit, because too much of digital screen time is not good for the eyes as well as for the mental health, because it has been said by WHO that 1 hour of digital media, watching digital media, takes away around 1 hour of sleep time, if I'm not wrong. Plus, we have to make sure that they have a very healthy diet, but once in a while we can have a few cheat days. You can have, let's say you can have some pizza or some chips, because if we don't totally forbid it, there will be a craving and then there will be a mental outburst. So I think Dr. Kaushik will be in a better position to answer this question, being a pediatrician. I think it should be Dr.
Thank you so
Kaushik
much.
can give us some more insights.
Thank you, Abhishek, sir. And I think screen time has really increased during the time of pandemic.
Definitely.
Now, doctors, there is a lot of talk about preparing for the third wave, and it has a special focus on the children as they have not been vaccinated yet. So could you tell us more about it? Yes, Dr. Diganto. So if you could kindly say.
It is really a matter of concern, actually. The third wave, it may hit any time of time. The precaution is not precaution is very, very important, actually, in this COVID.
So how can we prepare ourselves from the third wave? Like, how can we prepare the children? How can we prepare ourselves?
Same SOP, that SOP provided by the government, actually, the social distancing, keeping them inside, and we have to follow all the guidelines, actually. I think.
Dr. Kaushik Roy, sir, I would like you to throw some insights on it. Like, you being a pediatrician, if you could kindly tell us, like, the third wave is going to hit us, and there's a special focus on the children. So what would you like to tell on this, sir?
আমি একটু বাংলায় বলবো, কেন কি যদি লোকেরা শোনে তাহলে সুবিধা হবে। Third wave, children are more viable because the most of the adult population will be inoculated within next few months, and only the children will be left. তো যেহেতু বাচ্চারা শুধু বাকি থাকবে, সেই জন্য বাচ্চারা বেশি ভালনারেবল হবে, সেইটা একটা অ্যাজাম্পশন করা হচ্ছে। এটা 100% যে হবেই সেটা বলা যাচ্ছে না, তবে এটা একটা অ্যাজাম্পশন। তবে আমাদের সেইভাবে প্রিপারেশন নিতে হবে, যাতে এই জিনিসটা যদি হয়ও তাহলে আমরা সেটাকে আটকাতে পারি। এইবারে প্রিপারেশন বলতে প্রিভেনশন আমরা কি করতে পারি। এক নম্বর হচ্ছে যে বাচ্চাদের ডিরেক্টলি তো বাচ্চারা বাইরে যাচ্ছে না, তো ওদের ডিরেক্ট এক্সপোজারের চান্সটা কম। তো অ্যাডাল্ট পপুলেশন যারা আছে বাড়িতে যারা অ্যাডাল্ট আছে, যারা বাইরে মেইনলি বেরোচ্ছে, তাদেরকে কশাস থাকতে হবে, কারণ তারাই কেরিয়ার হবে। তো তারা যদি কোভিড প্রোটোকল মেনটেন করে, হ্যান্ড ওয়াশিং বা স্যানিটাইজেশন, সোশ্যাল ডিস্টেন্সিং, প্রপার মাস্ক ওয়ারিং, সেগুলো যদি মেনটেন করে, তাহলে তারা ইনফেক্টেড হবে না, এবং ন্যাচারালি তারা ইনফেক্টেড না হলে বাচ্চারাও ইনফেক্টেড হওয়ার চান্স কম। বিকজ যদি কেউ ভ্যাকসিনেটেড থাকে, দ্যাট ডাজন্ট মিন দ্যাট হি অর শি ক্যানট বি ইনফেক্টেড। ইনফেকশন কিন্তু হতেই পারে ইভেন আফটার 2 ডোজেস অফ ভ্যাকসিনেশন। যেটা ভ্যাকসিনেশনের এইম একটাই, যে ডিজিজ সিভিয়ারিটিটাকে কমানো। এবারে যদি ইনফেক্টেড হয় কিন্তু ডিজিজ হলো না যেহেতু ভ্যাকসিনেটেড, তাহলে সেই পারসন, হি অর শি মে বি এ ক্যারিয়ার ফর দ্যাট ভাইরাস, ফর দ্য কোভিড ভাইরাস। এইবারে সেই ফ্যামিলির সেই যারা বাইরে যাচ্ছে তারা যদি ইনফেক্টেড হয় তাহলে তাদের থেকে বাচ্চাদের হওয়ার চান্সটা বেশি থাকছে, এবং বাচ্চাদের ক্ষেত্রে হয়তো ইনফেকশন হয়ে সেখান থেকে ডিজিজটাও ক্রিয়েট হলো যেহেতু ভ্যাকসিনেটেড না। তো সেই চান্সটা প্রিভেন্ট করার জন্য অ্যাডাল্ট পপুলেশন যারা আছে তাদেরকে মেইনলি খেয়ালটা রাখতে হবে যারা তারা ইনফেক্টেড না হয়, 1 নাম্বার। 2 নাম্বার হচ্ছে যে বাচ্চাদের যদি বাইরে বের করতে হয় বা যদি বাচ্চাদেরকে নিয়ে যেতে বের হয়, মানে বের হতে হয় যদি, ইন দ্যাট কেস মোর দ্যান 5 ইয়ার্স যদি এজ গ্রুপ হয় তাহলে অবশ্যই মাস্ক পড়াতে হবে বাচ্চাকেও মাস্ক পড়াতে হবে মোর দ্যান 5 ইয়ার্স এজে। লেস দ্যান 5 ইয়ার্স এজে 3 to 5 ইয়ার্স এজ গ্রুপে যদি বাচ্চা কমফোর্টেবল হয়, ইন দ্যাট কেস মাস্ক পরানো যেতে পারে, আদারওয়াইজ মাস্ক না পরানোই ভালো। এটা একটা গেল। 2 নাম্বার হচ্ছে যাতে ফিজিক্যালি ফিট থাকে সেই জন্য ডায়েটের উপর জোর দিতে হবে। ডায়েট বলতে ডায়েটের যে কনস্টিটিউয়েন্সি মেইনলি প্রোটিন, ফ্যাট আর কার্বোহাইড্রেট, এই আমাদের মেইনলি দিয়ে থাকে, সাথে ভিটামিনস, মাইক্রোনিউট্রিয়েন্টের মধ্যে। তো প্রচুর ফল খেতে হবে, ফলে প্রচুর ভিটামিনস থাকে যেটা ইমিউনিটিটাকে বুস্ট করতে সাহায্য করে। তার সাথে সাথে ক্যালোরি যাতে সাফিসিয়েন্ট থাকে সেরকম, মানে খাওয়া দাওয়াটা যাতে সব ঠিকঠাক থাকে, প্রোটিন যাতে ঠিকঠাক পায় সেগুলো খেয়াল রাখা, এই ডায়েটের এই ব্যাপারগুলো যাতে একটা ব্যালেন্স ডায়েট থাকে। তো এটা একটা ব্যাপার। নেক্সট হচ্ছে যে মেন্টাল ফিটনেসের মধ্যে 1 নম্বর বাচ্চারা যদি বাড়িতে থাকে কন্টিনিউয়াসলি তাহলে বাচ্চাদের মেন্টাল ডেভেলপমেন্ট একটু হ্যাম্পার হওয়ার চান্স থাকে। তার জন্য কি করতে হবে, অ্যাক্সেসিবল প্লেস যেখানে আর কি গ্যাদারিং নেই, যেরকম এই অভিষেক দা যেরকম বলছিলেন যে একটু ছাদে নিয়ে যাওয়া বা একটু ফাঁকা জায়গায় একটু ঘুরিয়ে নিয়ে আসা, এই জিনিসটা করানো যেতে পারে, তাতে ওদের একটু মানে সেটা মেন্টাল হেলথের জন্য ভালো। এই জিনিসটা করা যেতে পারে উইথ কশন এই জিনিসটা করানো যেতে পারে। নেক্সট হচ্ছে রুটিন ইমিউনাইজেশন যেন মিস না হয়। ছোট বাচ্চাদের ক্ষেত্রে ইমিউনাইজ যেন থাকে, সে ফুললি ইমিউনাইজ থাকে, যেন 5 ইয়ার অব্দি যে ইয়ারলি যে ফ্লু ভ্যাকসিন দিতে হয় অ্যাজ পার আইপি গাইডলাইন, সেইটা যেন সবাই নেয়, ফ্লু ভ্যাকসিন ইয়ারলি। সেটা কিন্তু গভর্নমেন্ট দেয় না, গভর্নমেন্ট থেকে কিন্তু সেটা দেওয়া হয় না, ওটা কিন্তু নেওয়াটা 5 ইয়ার্স অব্দি কিন্তু দরকার আছে। তো এই জিনিসগুলো খেয়াল রাখা। বাকি যে ন্যাশনাল ইমিউনাইজেশন গাইডলাইনের মধ্যে যে গভর্নমেন্ট যে ভ্যাকসিন গুলো দেয় সেগুলো যাতে টাইমলি নেওয়া হয়, সেইটা একটা। আর হচ্ছে এই সময় যেটা স্পেশাল একটা প্রবলেম হচ্ছে যে স্ক্রিন টাইম হাই হয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য, যেহেতু অনেকক্ষণ বাচ্চাদের ক্লাসও অনলাইন হচ্ছে, সেই জন্য সেখানে একটা স্ক্রিন থাকছে, প্লাস তার সাথে যেহেতু কন্টিনিউয়াসলি বাড়িতে থাকছে তার জন্য টিভি, মোবাইল এই জিনিসগুলো দেখছে, তার জন্য আলটিমেটলি যে টোটাল স্ক্রিন টাইম ইন 20 আওয়ার স্প্যান সেটা কিন্তু অনেকটাই বেশি থাকছে, যার জন্য তাদের ভিশনের উপর সেটার একটা ইম্প্যাক্ট থাকতে পারে, সাথে তাদের ব্রেনের উপরও, মেন্টাল হেলথের উপরও কিন্তু একটা ইম্প্যাক্ট থাকতে পারে। তো যতটা সম্ভব বাচ্চাকে টাইম দিতে হবে, বাচ্চার সাথে খেলতে হবে, যাতে ওদের এই যে মানে স্ক্রিন টাইমটার যত দরকার না পড়ে, কারণ যাতে ওরা এন্টারটেনমেন্টটা এইভাবে যাতে মানে পেয়ে যায়, মানে যদি বাড়িতে যদি কেউ সবাই যাতে মানে বাড়ি থাকছে, তার যদি মা বাবা মানে যখন মোবাইল না দেখে যদি বাচ্চাটাকে টাইম দেয় তাহলে কি হবে, বেটার থাকে, বাচ্চাটারও মানে ওর সেটা হবে, যত টিভির অ্যাট্রাকশনটা কম। তো এই জিনিসগুলো খেয়াল রাখা দরকার বলে আমার মনে হয়। আর থার্ড ওয়েভ প্রিপেয়ারনেস এর মধ্যে সেটা তো বললাম, প্রিভেনশনের জন্য অ্যাডাল্টদেরই প্রিভেনশন নিতে হবে, বাচ্চাদের প্রিভেনশনের কোনো জায়গা নেই, কারণ তারা তো বেরোচ্ছে না। তো যেটা বেসিক ডায়েট, যে মেন্টাল হেলথ, ফিজিক্যাল হেলথ, এগুলো মেনটেন করা, এগুলোই। যদি কোনো কোমরবিডিটি থাকে, কোনো বাচ্চার যদি কোনো ক্রনিক ডিজিজ আগে থেকে থাকে, তাহলে দে শুড বি মোর কশাস, পেরেন্টস শুড বি মোর কশাস। যদি কারো অ্যাজমা থাকে আগে থেকে, তাহলে তার বেশি কশাস থাকে। যদি
I think there's a network issue with Dr. Roy, but he certainly has given us some very important clarification.
few months back, I had watched one
He has a
documentary
connection
on the
problem. That's
doctors
why
who were.
it's getting interrupted.
Yes, yes, Dr. Kaushik. Sir, as I was saying, as I was watching our documentary on doctors a few months back, and then because of the pandemic, many of the doctors had to stay outside the house, or they were not able to meet your family directly. I mean, they might have been staying in the house, but maybe in a separated room, or they were staying. In that documentary, it was like the doctor was staying in the garage, and the other family were like inside the house. So, how stressful has it been for you as a family person, during the time of pandemic? Dr. Abhishek, if you could answer that.
See, last year when this pandemic was at its peak, I was posted at two private hospitals taken over by the government. One is the Decent Hospital. It's near North Bengal Medical College, and the other one is Dr. Chang's Hospital, just next to city center, Siliguri. So every one of us had to work for 7 days and then had an isolation for 14 days. So that makes 21 days into two, that is 42 days. So 21 days at a stretch
Yes,
away
sir.
from the family is definitely tough. So
Yes, sir.
I can't, means I felt bad that I couldn't be there and leaving my family alone to fend for themselves. There are a
Yes, sir.
thousand things that can go wrong, but
Yes,
fortunately
sir.
nothing did. Nothing did. Everything went smoothly. So it takes a toll on your mental health actually. We were given accommodation in a hotel at there's a Pahadia Bhavan. It's just behind. When I was working with at Dr. Chang's, it's behind Dr. Chang's hospital. It's from GTA. So we were given a fantastic accommodation. Food was good. Everything is all right. But since
Yes,
you're
sir.
away from the family, it eats you from inside. That tension that it builds up. What happens is, what is my son doing? What if he falls down? What if suppose someone's wife or someone's elderly parents stay with them? They might be suffering from some comorbidity. What if
Yes, sir.
my mother's or someone's mother's blood pressure shoots up or sugar falls down, something goes wrong? So those sorts of things keep you nagging at throughout the day, even when you are working. So that's what so what
Yes, sir.
I think what I did is that mental tension, I tried to convert it into my strength. Like, means everyone must have heard of the saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So so far COVID hasn't killed me,
Which is stronger.
and I hope it doesn't. So all the mental tension that built up, I tried to convert it into my mental strength actually. So, and it was a very pleasant surprise that when I came back after all those harrowing times at home, I saw my wife and my son. They have toughened up also. So, so my son told me, "See, Dad, I am so strong now. He's happy to see me." So that is a relief. And even now, as I speak to you, there is a hospital you must have heard at the Triveni Lodge. It's in Kalimpong district. So there, it has been converted into a COVID hospital. So by rotation wise, we are being sent here. So sooner or later, I will have to go there again. So again, I will be out of touch with my family, at least physically, thanks to all the electronic media, this network and all. At least I can see them over the phone.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek. Thank you so much. We really appreciate and we are full of gratitude for your hard work. So this is a follow-up question. How
Yes,
difficult and how painful is it to wear the PPE kit for a prolonged period of time?
actually, see, the PPE is meant to keep anything from entering from outside and prevent anything from inside going out. So when you wear a PPE, no matter how much you sweat or however hot it is outside, you have to bear with it, because it's not that we are not the carriers of infections. We can carry lots of infection. And to a patient who is already infected with COVID-19, we can't let our infections get to him, resulting in his adding to his troubles. And at the same time, we can't let his virus, it can be COVID-19, or it can be so many. Maybe there is a tuber patient who is suffering from tuberculosis. He is infected with COVID-19. So there are two deadly microorganisms in that patient. I can't let those microorganisms reaching me. So nobody likes to wear a PP for a prolonged period of time. The longest I've worn is for around 4.5 hours. So I remember after that, means when I came back, it's like you have just been got caught in the rain, and everything is wet. You just come out, you're panting, you're feeling thirsty, weak. So, but it's all right. It's whenever I joined this profession, as 100% of my colleagues will agree, we knew what we were signing up for. So we can't complain. So just imagine a soldier who is out at the borders. He is complaining that, okay, the government hasn't given me bulletproof vest, so I won't fight. We can't say that. The government is doing its bit. We have to do our bit as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Dr. Diganto, we would like to know from you. So if you could kindly tell us about your experience of treating a COVID patient, a COVID positive patient, and how did he or she cope up with it?
Actually, in my setup, in Poweti state, we have COVID center here. In fact, we have positive cases also. Initially, we got some resistance from the patient who actually they don't like to stay in COVID care center, but later on they understood the situation, and they are cooperative right now. So every time, really, Dr. Abhishek just said, every time wearing all the protective equipment like PPE and seeing the patient, it is difficult actually. It is difficult, but we have to know, we have no other choice. We used to visit wearing PPE kit and what are the medicinal treatment they were giving, we are providing. And my hospital staff, they are also very cooperative.
Thank you so much, sir. Lobsang, sir. Now you being the counselor, if you would want to ask the question,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, okay. One question to all the doctors present here. Since doctors are not instantly available in school or as a part of school instantly, I being the counselor present at school, would you like please give me some suggestions on the things that I can work on to help children, to build up a better mental health. So that is my questions to the doctors. If you could answer that for me.
Physical health, I think it will be dealt better by the doctors and nurses who are there. Mental health is actually it's means handling mental health is bit of a means not so easy, because mental health problems, they are difficult to diagnose. Yes, first they're difficult to diagnose, and second, the problem gets complex in case of children because they can't express themselves. So I'll just cite an example. A child, he comes from a home where they unfortunately, his father, he has some he's into substance abuse. It can be alcohol, it can be something else, and because of that, there is a situation often at home that which is not so pleasant for him. and he can't help it. He's a child, he can't help it. So he has to see all that, whatever is happening at his home, and he absorbs all that, and he feels helpless. He can't,
Yes, sir.
since he is a child, he can't process all that what he's seeing. So he is keeping it all within himself, thinking that this is normal. Shouting, screaming, hitting is all normal. So what happens is, whenever a situation, whenever a stressful situation occurs at school, it's probable or it's very likely that
Yes,
the
sir.
child will respond in a similar manner. So you must have come across such situations as a part of your job.
Yes, sir.
So I think means it's very,
Yes, sir.
very important to analyze each and every child separately, because each and every human, each and every child, they are physically as well
Yes.
as mentally, they are different. And this means asking this of you or
Different.
any other counselor is asking too much actually. But since it's our job, that's what we have signed up for.
Yes, sir.
We have to give it our best shot. So means
Yes, sir.
in a gist, diagnosing that a child is suffering from a mental health problem, maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety. So that itself is a job cut out for itself. So when we
Yes,
diagnose
sir.
the problem, a mental health problem, half of our job is done. Then we can, bring the parents, win the confidence of the child.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
and accordingly proceed with the treatment or whatever ailment he is suffering from.
Yes,
Because
sir.
in
Yes,
India,
sir.
there's a last year, in last year, the District Mental Health Program, DMHP,
Yes, sir. DMHP. Yes.
Darjeeling District, they trained us for 3 days at a North Bengal Medical College. Means they tried to make us aware of all the mental health problems and what medications could be given and how to diagnose, and that
Yes,
included
sir.
diagnosing children as well. So it was very helpful actually. So
Yes, sir.
I think means as the teachers, every one of us are always indebted to our teachers, because without them we wouldn't have been in the place where we are now. So teachers are the best judge, because a teacher can often judge, see that okay, this child, he is definitely suffering from some problem, because he may not be paying attention, or he may be, his looks tell it all. That is his. I'll tell you an example. It happened most probably in Norway. Yes, it was in Norway. There was an Indian couple. They were IT professionals. You must have read it in the newspapers also. Their children, they went to school, but they were sleepy all the time. So
Okay.
the teachers, they noticed that thing. Immediately, they informed social security. In Western countries,
Yes.
social services are very active and they are very prompt. So once informed, they came to the school, observed the children, and immediately what they did is, without telling the parents, they went to the parents' home, and what they found out that they are IT professionals, so their working hours were a bit, not regular. They had to work because
Yes.
of the demanding work they were in, and they had late night parties as well. So what happened is, the children, they were not getting enough sleep, and because of the
Yes, sir.
loud music and all the guests that were in the at home, the children often felt unattended. They were suffering from anxiety. So what the social services did is, they immediately suggested that the children be taken into protective custody away from the parents, and which the government of Norway did. The government of India was notified. They, through the embassy of India, tried their level best to free the children from the social services back to the parents, but the social services wouldn't have any of it. They said until and unless the parents ensure that the children's health, both physical and mental, are taken care of, they will not, under any circumstances, let the children go back at the home, because even though they are children of Indian origin, of Indian parents, they are staying in a country called Norway, and the rule of
Yes,
land
yes,
has to be followed.
yes,
So I think as a
yes.
third world country, or rather, I'd like to say a developing country, we have miles to go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abhishek, for your insight. And yes, indeed, it becomes very difficult for us as a professional to also look at children and then even diagnose, because it becomes really, it's very blurry. I mean to say, the symptoms are very blurry.
Yes.
So now we have come to the end of our discussions with our doctors. So let me end by saying something. When we were asked to stay at home and stay safe, you had to leave the comforts of the house to fight the battle for us all. We express our heartiest gratitudes to our doctors. Thank you. Happy Doctors' Day.
Thank you so much.
Now we would like to take the privilege
Thank you.
to call upon our dear coordinator, Ma'am Gargi Chaudhary, to kindly give the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Lobsan sir. That was indeed a very, very thoughtful way of, expressing our gratitude to our dear doctors. Well, I, on behalf of our dear Provisy sir, Mr. Sharad Agarwal, our beloved principal ma'am, Mrs. Manwara B. Ahmed, our dearest and loved DPS family, that includes our dear parents, our students, and my dear colleagues, would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the eminent doctors, and above all, as ma'am had rightly put it, our parents, for taking off some time, indeed quite some time from their hectic schedule, to give us an overview of a lot many things which has come to our mind. And I hope after this panel discussion, it has also been, solved to an extent by your valuable feedback as individuals and as parents. I would also like to extend our heartfelt thank you to Principal Ma'am for supporting and guiding us, and also she's been the light, the behind the curtain, who has been directing us to have the show, and as what comes to the end is, it was indeed a great discussion. We have come to know lot many things from all of you. Special mention to all the moderators, my academic coordinators too, for being there with us to make this show possible. Lastly, without much delay, I would like to just quote that not all guardian angels have magic wands. I repeat, not all guardian angels have magic wands. They also carry stethoscope too. So we really thank you for all the hours that you have toiled to save humanity, to save mankind. Please keep doing it. And we also pray to God to bless you in abundance. May God bless you all. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you.